Hi everyone, welcome back to a new topic, Frobenius numbers. Let us first define what Frobenius numbers are. Given relatively prime positive integers a and b, the largest number that cannot be written as a non-negative linear combination of a and b is called the Frobenius number. It's given by ab minus a minus b. In other words, given a and b to be positive integers such that their GCD is 1, then the largest number capital N that cannot be written as a linear combination ax plus by, where x and y are both positive integers, is n is equal to ab minus a minus b. It is important to know that such a linear combination is only possible for every integer n such that n is greater than ab minus a minus b. As you have seen, when n becomes equal to ab minus a minus b, it is not possible to find the linear combination. Let's look at some examples. What if you are given a value to be 3 and b is equal to 5? You can see their GCD is 1. Then the greatest integer that cannot be written as a linear combination of non-negative integers is ab minus a minus b, which is 3 into 5 minus 3 minus 5, and that is 7. So all integers up to 7 cannot be used to write the linear combination 3x plus 5y, but all numbers greater than 7 can be written as a linear combination. Let's take the example of number 6, which is less than 7. We can write 6 as 3 into 12 plus 5 into minus 6, that is 3x plus 5y. 6 is equal to 3 into 12 plus 5 into minus 6. Here x is nothing but 12 and y is nothing but minus 6. We have been able to write 6 as a linear combination of 3 and 5, but then minus 6 is negative, whereas the condition is that x and y have to be non-negative. So all numbers less than equal to 7 cannot be expressed as a linear combination of 3 and 5. What if you take n to be 8? As 8 is greater than 7, you can see 8 is nothing but 3 into 1 plus 5 into 1. We have been able to write it as a linear combination of 3 and 5. That will hold for all numbers greater than 7. 9 can be written as 3 into 3 plus 5 into 0. If n is 10, you can write 10 as 3 into 0 plus 5 into 2. If n is 17, 17 can be written as 3 into 4 plus 5 into 1. To summarize, every integer greater than equal to 8 can be written as a linear combination of 3 and 5. So what is the general problem? The problem of finding greatest positive integer n, for which the equation a1x1 plus a2x2 dash 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 plus anxn is equal to n, is not solvable in non-negative integers. This problem is called by different names: the postal stamp problem, the Frobenius coin problem, or the chicken nugget problem. It was Frobenius who posed the problem of finding the largest amount of money that cannot be paid using coins worth a1, a2 dash 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 an cents. Note, Sylvester in 1884 studied the case n is equal to 2. The case for n is equal to 3, that is, for the linear combination of a1, a2, a3, a1x1 plus a2x2 plus a3x3 was first solved explicitly by Selmer and Bayer. Using continued fraction algorithm, their results were further simplified by Rotseth and later on by Greenberg. It's important to know that no general formulas are known for n greater than equal to 4, although some upper bounds have been proven. Let's look at the Frobenius coin problem for n is equal to 3 with coefficients bc, ca and ab. If a, b, c are pairwise relatively prime integers, then 2abc minus ab minus bc minus ca is the largest integer that cannot be expressed in the form x bc plus y ca plus z ab, for x, y and z being non-negative integers. Let us now look at some different theorems. The first one, let a and b be positive integers such that they are relatively prime. Then the number of positive integers n that cannot be written as the linear combination ax plus by for non-negative integers x and y is given by a minus 1 into b minus 1 upon 2. The second theorem, the necessary and sufficient condition for solvability of system of M Diophantine equations in n unknowns is that the rank R and the GCD of all the R row determinants of the coefficient matrix are the same as those of augmented matrix. The third theorem, let capital N be A minus 1 into B minus 1, where A and B are positive integers and they are relatively prime. Then every integer C which is greater than equal to N is representable in the form C is equal to AX plus BY, where X and Y are greater than equal to 0, while C is equal to N minus 1 is not representable. Additionally, exactly half of the integers 0, 1, 2, dash 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 n minus 1 are representable. But this has still not been proved. So whatever we have learned so far, let's apply them to some examples. The first one, in a game of solitaire, after each play, according to the outcome, the player receives either A or B points, where A is greater than B. A and B are positive integers and the score accumulates from play to play. If there are 35 non-attainable scores and that one of these is 58, find A and B. So now, first thing, if GCD of A and B is greater than 1, we will get infinite solutions. So we start by taking GCD of A and B to be 1. Now, as you have already seen, number of non-attainable score is A minus 1 into B minus 1 upon 2. We are already given that such solutions are 35 in number. So 35 is A minus 1 into B minus 1 upon 2. You can see that A minus 1 into B minus 1 is 70. Now it can be factorized as 35 into 2, 14 into 5, 10 into 7 and 70 into 1. Now let's take A minus 1 as 35 and B minus 1 as 2. The first case. As we know that A is given to be greater than B, we have taken them accordingly. So you'll get A is 36, B is 3. But you see that the GCD is not 1, so we drop this case. Come to the second case. Again, when we take A minus 1 to be 14 and B minus 1 to be 5, we get A is 15 and B is 6. This is also not considered as the GCD is again not 1. Come to the third case. When A minus 1 is 10 and B minus 1 is 7, we get A is 11 and B is 8. And as the GCD is 1, we consider this case. So this is one of the possibilities. Case 4. When A minus 1 is 70 and B minus 1 is 1, then A will be 71 and B will be 2. But you see, when we take the linear combination 0 into 71 plus 29 into 2, you see we get 58. As it is equal to 58, this cannot be a solution. So the only possible solution is A is equal to 11 and B is equal to 8. Why we took this as the solution is, when you form the line 11x plus 8y is equal to 58, it does not pass through the first quadrant. A few things to remember. If both A and B are even numbers, then no odd number would be expressible as a linear combination. So we take the GCD of A and B to be 1, or they should be relatively prime. Every integer greater than 10 differs from 8, 9 and 10 by a multiple of 3. To get a number greater than 10, add multiples of 3 to get it. We would be applying this for our postal stamp problems where we take stamps worth 3 cents and 5 cents. This would be clear when we do this example. How many 3 cent and 5 cent stamps can be purchased from 92 cents? First of all, we check the difference 92 minus 8, 92 minus 9 and 92 minus 10 and see which one is a multiple of 3. You will see 92 minus 8 is 84 and 84 is 3 into 28, which is a multiple of 3. So what we do, we take this 8 on the right hand side, we will get 3 into 28 plus 8, which is 92. Now 8 can be split as 3 plus 5. So we get 3 times 29 plus 5 times 1 is equal to 92. Hence, we have 29 3 cent stamps and 1 5 cent stamp. So from 92 cents, we can buy these many. What if there are 94 cents? Then you can see 94 minus 10 is 84, which is 3 into 28. If we take the 10 on the other side, we get 94 is 84 plus 10. If you split 10 as 5 into 2, then we will have 28 3 cent stamps and 2 5-cent stamps. Let's come to the third example. Mary has $13 and $7 bills. She has to pay $71 to a shopkeeper. Here, your A is 13 and B is 7. So AB minus A minus B is nothing but 3 into 7 minus 13 minus 7, which is equal to 71. Now, as AB minus A minus B is equal to 71, it is not possible to pay using $71 without receiving the change. Let's come to the fourth example. If we have stamps of denominations A and B and consecutive numbers k plus 1 dash 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 k plus A minus 1 are the feasible solutions, then we have to show that every number greater than k plus A minus 1 is also a feasible solution. So how do we prove that? We are given that k plus 1 dash 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 k plus A minus 1 is a solution. So we'll take k plus A minus 1 to be a solution. If it is a solution, it would be greater than AB minus A minus B. Now take the one on the other side. We have AB minus A minus B plus 1. The right hand side can be written as A minus 1 into B minus 1. And now if we use the third theorem which we did, you can see that k plus A is also a solution, as k plus A is greater than k plus A minus 1, and the theorem states all numbers greater than k plus A minus 1 will also be solutions. So our theorem is proved. The Frobenius problems are a particular case of linear Diophantine equations. If we revisit our example 2, where you were asked to find the non-negative solution x and y for the linear combination 3x plus 5y is equal to 92, if we use the Euclidean algorithm and solve this linear Diophantine equation, you will see the general solution will be x is equal to 184 plus 5t and y is equal to minus 92 minus 3t. For all values of t 0 plus minus 1 dash dash dash, we will be getting infinite solutions. Now, out of these infinite solutions, we will look for non-negative integer solution. In the general solution, if we take t is equal to minus 31, we will get x is 29 and y is 1. And this is the only non-negative solution. You can try for different values of t. Now, you just saw that from the general solution of a Diophantine equation, we've got a non-negative solution. And that's why we say they are a particular case of Diophantine equations. Thank you for watching. We'll come up with another topic next week. For detailed notes, practice problems and class lectures, you can go to my website www.profpritivajpayee.com.